What's going on, guys? Ants Trades back with another video. Got a decent amount to talk about today. I just want to start the video by saying we're still following the fractal. I know some people are probably worried. Some people don't know how to act on a red day. I'm already getting comments, people freaking out. Do not worry. There's nothing to be worried about yet. We still look good. And yeah, that's it. I'm going to just start off by saying that. Let's jump into the video. We're going to start off with the SPY. Pretty much what I expected again. Oh, and before I even get into that, we broke out of the descending broadening wedge. This thing, we have not seen it close over this wedge for the entire length of this period of time that we've been trading in it. This is the first time that we've closed over the wedge. So yeah, looking really good. Very bullish. It's looking good. Slightly lower volume today. Not really a big deal on a gap day. Usually on a gap day, you're going to trade range bound like that anyway, so it's not really a big deal. I said yesterday I expected the SPY to come up to like the 403 level, and then probably trade sideways in between 400, 403 all day, which is pretty much what we did. We gapped slightly over 403, and then spent the majority of the day bouncing back and forth between 400. Pretty much what I called, bounced off the wedge, 400 on the dot. I think it was 403 was the low today. Trading in this 400, 403 level for the majority of the day. Second half of the day, you saw a pump, and we got a close of 404.75. Overall, very, very bullish. The SPY looks great. AMC still looks great. I'm going to get into that in a little bit. I have no reason to be concerned yet. I still think we're looking good. I still do not see any reason to be concerned. Just like I said, I will let you guys know if things are looking bad. We're going to get into AMC after I just want to pull the EMAs up one more time, and I want to show you this because this is looking really good too. Third day in a row, closing over the 200 EMA. Very bullish. The 20 is curling. It's catching up. I don't know if you guys can see, so I'm going to zoom in a little bit more here. The 20 is curling up, and it is approaching the 200 EMA. Now, if you know anything about moving averages, when your 20 is crossing from the downside over your 200 EMA, that is a buy signal. That's a very bullish signal, and that's what we're looking like we're going to get very soon. 200 is probably going to curl up a little bit, not too much, as it lags more than the 20. The 20 is usually closer to the price action, but this 20 is curling up, and it's looking like it's going to cross the 200, and this thing is going to take off. What are my expectations for tomorrow? I'm going to just say this now. I think tomorrow we're going to see a market-wide pump. I think tomorrow is going to be a pretty day for the market as a whole. SPY, I think, is going to rip tomorrow. May even see it gap up again to 406 and keep going. The SPY is, I'm expecting a green day for the SPY tomorrow again. It doesn't have to be a crazy green day. I mean, you could get a doji here somewhere. I'm not really expecting red. Maybe you come down, test 400 again. You don't really have to. That's just that. I'm expecting green tomorrow, market wide. I think tomorrow is going to be a massively pumped day for the market as a whole. That's just my opinion on that. Let's jump into AMC. So, and again, I know I do this almost every video, but we're going to start with the bars pattern because I want you guys to understand something. This is macro outlook. This is the bars pattern. It's been tracking perfectly. Very little deviation, guys. I'm telling you, you could pull this up for yourself, pull a bars pattern from this 3 fractal segment here and throw it over this and look at it for yourself. You could almost see the candles, candle for candle, this thing moving with the price action that we have here. We're tracking this thing perfectly. I have no reason to be concerned with what's going on right now. I'm going to get into that. I'm going to just take the bars pattern off really. Actually, before I do that, just look at this. Look. You come up here, you find your bottom, right? And you come up here and then you retrace. Find your bottom, come up, retrace. There's nothing to be worried about. Today, what did we get again? A lower volume day than yesterday, and yesterday was lower than the day before that. That's 3 red days in a row now. Decreasing volume on that. Guys, that's bullish. That's bullish. Decreasing volume on a pullback on a retracement is bullish. It's bullish. That means the uptrend is still intact. So I just wanted to touch on that. Some of you guys, man, just freaking out. Like, just calm down. I will let you know if you need to be worried. And I said, if you see sub 500, we're probably coming back down to the bottom of this thing. That's not to say that we're not going to break out still. And I don't think we're coming back to the bottom anyway. But just because, and I'm not saying this is going to happen, I highly, highly doubt this happens. If you come back to the bottom of the wedge, you're still breaking out to the upside at some point in the near future. I mean, you're talking a month and a half tops. Again, I don't think we're going back to the bottom here. That's just my opinion on that. So yeah, big picture, still tracking perfectly. On smaller time frames with fractals, guys, I'm not going to be perfect. It varies. I mean, it's close, but it varies. I'm not going to be perfect every single day with the price movement. I know I said green today. We didn't get green today. Not the end of the world. We still closed on our support. The wick down to 510, and I'm going to jump into the. I'm going to jump really quick into the 1 hour, charts, and I just want to talk about the wick down here. Now, I did mention yesterday that it was very possible for us to break this support level here. I'm going to zoom in. I mentioned that pre-January you get the wick down off your rejection off the top of the wedge, and then you form this W type move, right? The second half of the W, you don't come down to the wick, and then you take off. I mentioned yesterday, and actually, let me just pull this up one more time. I mentioned yesterday that we are tracking this 3 fractal sequence here perfectly, right? Same exact thing. The only difference is that this is a descending wedge, which means the price action is descending. It's tilted downward. It's the same thing. If you just took this fractal here, these three fractals here, and just tilted it, like picture grabbing this here and just tilt it up. That's what you have here, right? So with that being said, and this is why I mentioned it in the video yesterday, because I knew I was comparing these two and how this didn't come down to this, to your support level on the wick here. I mentioned that I would not be shocked if we got a wick down lower. And why is that? Very simply put, we're descending. We're trading in a descending wedge. The price action is going to be tilted. Here it's flat, here it's slanted down. So I was already kind of expecting that. Did I think that it had to happen? No, because it didn't. We could have just took off. With that being said, I have every reason to believe that this is the bottom, that we just touched the other half, our other half of the W, the bottom here, and this thing is about to rip. Yeah, I actually did notice something today. And, it's not like anything crazy, but I just thought it was interesting. I'm just going to pull this up. I'll leave that for last. This move is pretty symmetrical. It's a pretty symmetrical move. I put this white dot here indicating the middle of the move. And, this isn't anything too significant, but I just thought it was interesting, and I mean, I'm expecting this thing to rip anyway, so it makes sense. So here's the middle of your move, right? And you have a cup over here, and it's marked. So, green, I couldn't split this, so this whole thing is green. This is 2 sections. Imagine putting a line right down the middle of it. The red matches the red, yellow, yellow, purple, purple. You get the picture. So here's our green, right? You start from the top, and you're forming a cup this way, you're forming a cup this way. You come to the red, you're forming a cup this way, you're forming a cup this way. Come to the yellow, forming a cup, and then you get your purple, which is just 3 bars over here down, and we have some downward action over here. What am I expecting tomorrow? Straight up, I'm expecting this thing to rip out of the wedge. Straight up. That's what I'm expecting tomorrow. It does not have to be tomorrow. Let me emphasize this. It does not have to be tomorrow. The algorithm is in turtle mode. I mentioned this yesterday. I'm going to mention it again today. The algorithm is in complete turtle mode right now. This thing is drying up the volume. That's what's going on. So let me hide these really quick. And I want to show you this. So let me get this off too. I drew this just from the top wick, just straight down, and then you have your support here at 527 roughly, right? And here's the wick down. I mentioned this was a possibility, and we closed right on top of our support. Bullish. That's great. We wick down. That's it. You know, last hour of the day, wick down, close above. Is what it is. It's not the end of the world. Things are still looking good. And I drew this trend line here to show you guys pretty much why I'm expecting a breakout tomorrow. Is, I mean, this thing comes to an end tomorrow, this trend line. So you can expect, I mean, maybe what can happen, and I'm just going to throw scenarios because I want everyone to be prepared for every scenario here. Maybe what you get is a very, very low volume, boring day, up, down, and you close the day somewhere on support of 527 again. That's a possibility. Also a possibility, you double bottom 510. I know I said in my last video, I think I said 420 by mistake. That I didn't want to see anything less than 420. I meant to say 520, or 515. Sorry. We wicked down to 410. Not the end of the world. Like I said, sub 5, bearish. Would hate to see that. I would hate to see sub 5. Where we are now, this support is looking very strong. We have one wick below here, and then we close above. It's looking good. Do we have to break out tomorrow? Absolutely not. Am I expecting it? Yes. Straight up. I'm expecting AMC to break its wedge tomorrow. Like I said, it doesn't have to be tomorrow, and I'm going to show you why. I believe I mentioned this in my last video, but I'm going to mention it again. Pull this up full screen and look at this, right? So from your bottom, you come up to the top of the wedge, get rejected, and now you're in a retracement here. You have the wick below. I know that probably scared a lot of people. Didn't scare me. You know, when we were at 510, I was like, please do not go sub 5. You know, like, please do not. I'm not gonna lie. But honestly, I didn't even think it was going to. Even at 510, I'm like, this thing is going to turn around. We're probably going to close somewhere around the support, and that's exactly what happened, right? So realistically, this is worst case scenario if we're breaking out. So we'll talk scenarios. Worst case scenario, just hypothetically say we're breaking out, right? I'm expecting it tomorrow. It doesn't have to be tomorrow, and why is that? Okay, so here's my wedge, right? And here's your support, and we're riding the support. Right, you still have a couple days here. Like, this thing theoretically could drag this out, and I mean, you're seeing it right in front of you. The decreasing volume, it's really the algorithm is really slowing down here. I mean, you could theoretically bounce in this range for 4 more days before you get pushed out of the wedge, right? So it doesn't have to be tomorrow that we break out. You know, maybe we get another sideways day. Do I think that we're getting another sideways day tomorrow? No. I'm expecting a breakout. I think that tomorrow is going to be a very interesting day in the market. I think the SPY is going to rip. I think AMC is going to rip. That's just where I'm at. I mentioned yesterday, and I mean, take this with a grain of salt, but pre-January squeeze breakout was on a Friday. I said it doesn't have to be on a Friday. It doesn't have to be on the same day. That would just make the most sense to me. If I was a market maker, you know, dragging this out, you know, burning a premium on calls, and then Friday you just let it go. That just makes the most sense to me. I think we still look good. You know, the wick down might have been a little scary for some people. Like I said, sub 5, you're coming back down here to the bottom of the trend line. If we're gonna hug this trend line, then so be it. You know, we'll sit here and ride this thing to the wedge, and we'll get pushed out. That's what I'm expecting. You know, this video doesn't have to be a half hour long. I'm just giving you my thoughts on today. It was a boring day for AMC. SPY looked great, and we're still right on track. That's pretty much it. Like, this thing is still primed to go. You do not want to see this thing come down to sub 5. Period. We don't want that. We hold the support. You know, maybe tomorrow we don't break out. We just hold the support. That would be great. I wouldn't be mad at all. If we trade sideways today and, you know, hold the support all day, that would be great. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much my thoughts. We're still following. We're still tracking. There's nothing to be worried about. Stop freaking out. I know some people, like, there might just even be bots in my comments. I'm not sure because like some of the comments I get are just so like brainless. I don't know how else to say it. I'm not even trying to be mean. It's just find a hole in my theory, please. I went from the beginning here. I showed you from my thesis as a whole, January 14 to January 17. 3 years. 3 years of bullish price action. IPO from IPO to here was a 100% move. 3 years of bearish. Now we have 3 years of bullish. You know, this is a descending wedge. The price is coming down. It's still bullish. Descending wedge is bullish. Plus, from the cycle, we're still up. So that's just where I'm at. I think things are looking really good. I mean, just look at. I'll go through it. You know what? I don't got anything to do right now, so I'm gonna just go through this. So from the breakdown, you know, you bounce up. I'm just gonna do this again because I'm not sure if everyone saw this the first time. You bounce up from here, you come down, and then you form this W, right? And there's some extra in there, and then you have the same thing here. You're forming this W, and then you rip back up to the top, right? That's the first fractal. That's coming from right here. Keep in mind, these are flat. This is flat trading. The bottom was the bottom here, and it was just flat the whole time. This is descending, so the bottoms are getting a little bit lower every time. Only difference. The only difference in this. Red fractal. Come down. You have the shelf here. You have it here. Let me unlock this. I mean, you could see the wick down here, the wick up here. Have a cup here. You have a cup here. You come down, and then you up to the top. Perfect. Perfect. I mean, it's off a little bit. It's like I said, it's never going to be perfect. Over here, same thing. This is the last one. This is your pre-January 21 squeeze fractal right here. What you have, you come down to a point, bounce up, come down to a point, bounce up, right? Then you keep coming down. You get this candle, this wick here. You have it right here. And then you continue down, right? And then you have this U, this higher U, higher U, come down, come all the way down to your bottom, flatten out here. It wasn't flat here, it was just a V. Flat here, 10 days trading down here, by the way. And then you come up and then retrace. That's where we are. This thing is tracking perfectly. I mean, if you could find a hole in my thesis, go for it and come to me and show me. I've been following this for over a year at this point. Personally, I don't watch any YouTubers. I don't have Twitter. I don't have Instagram. I don't have anything. I stick to myself. This is all done by myself. No outside influence. This is all me. And why would I come on here and bullshit you guys? You know, this is I'm holding calls. I'll be straight up. I am holding calls, and I think they're gonna fucking pay. I think they're gonna pay big time. That's pretty much it. This thing is tracking perfectly. Like, I can't control the algorithm slowing down. You know, I could give my best approximation with dates, when we're gonna break out, when this is gonna happen, when we're gonna squeeze. I cannot control if the algorithm wants to turn the volume all the way down on the retrace. This could have been done in one day. I mentioned this in my last video. Back here in January, when you get rejected, you have 1 day of retracement, and then you break the wedge, take off. Over here, we are on rejected from off the wedge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days of retracement. This algorithm is moving like a turtle. This thing is in slow motion right now, but we're still following. I have nothing to be worried about. I haven't seen anything to be worried about. Decreasing volume on red is bullish. It's looking good. Obviously, no one wants to see red. I don't want to see red, but it's still good. It's still following. It's decreasing volume. It's bullish. And the SPY is ready to fucking rip. So that's what I have to say about that. Yeah, I mean, things are looking good. Things are looking very good, guys. Do not be worried. Like I said, straight up, sub $5, bearish. Straight up. Not going to bullshit you guys. Sub $5 is not, you're coming back down. You see sub $5, you're coming back down here. And that's just how that's going to go. Right? If we hold this support on 527, maybe it takes, hold on 1 second. Maybe it takes the 4 days. I mean, this, like theoretically, it could happen. The algorithm could just trade this sideways. And then you get to this point here. If you're holding the support, it's going to push out. It's not going to have any. It's just going to push out. That's just the way it's going to play. Do I think it's going to take the 4 days? No. And why do I say that? I mean, I'm not even going to pull it up again. I showed you guys before. This move here is very symmetrical. It's a very symmetrical move. And the next thing we got coming, as far as symmetry, is this. Up. The only reason that this is lower again is because this is descending. It's a descending wedge, descending price action. But you could see the W here. What's next? This thing's ready to break out. Plain and simple. We hold the support, we're breaking out, period. And yeah, I am expecting it to break out tomorrow. I'll say that. I could be wrong. You know, it could take the 4 days and just trade us sideways on low volume. That could happen. But I'm expecting it tomorrow. And if we do break out tomorrow, I'll be making another video on what to expect next. If we break out tomorrow, I'm taking off work all next week, and I'll be live streaming. I'll be live streaming AMC price action all next week if we break the wedge, and that is that. So yeah, nothing to be worried about, guys. Still tracking it perfectly. I will keep you posted if we have anything to be worried about. And that will be it for this video. I hope you guys have a good night, and I will most likely see you guys tomorrow.